Signs that someone close to you secretly hates you. Imagine for a moment that your soul is a garden, and every relationship you nurture is a plant you tend to with care. But what if, hidden among the flowers, there are weeds? Relationships that secretly drain your energy and pollute your peace. Today, we're going to uncover those hidden weeds. The subtle signs that someone close to you might be harboring negativity, and how it's silently affecting your happiness. By the end of this, you will have the power to recognize these signs, protect your inner peace, and create space for relationships that truly nourish your soul. The shadow self, embracing the hidden aspects of our psyche. We all carry within us a hidden part, the aspects of ourselves we tend to suppress or deny. This is the shadow, the darker and often uncomfortable elements of our personality that we don't like to confront. These aspects can include feelings like anger, jealousy, or even hatred. Now, why is this important for you to understand? Because often the people closest to us are not just reflecting their visible selves. They're also showing us their shadow. And when someone close to you secretly harbors negative feelings, those hidden emotions can begin to manifest in ways you might not expect. You see, the shadow self is a part of everyone, and when it remains unchecked, it influences our behavior and relationships, sometimes in the most subtle yet damaging ways. Have you ever felt uneasy around someone, like something was off, but couldn't quite pinpoint it? It's the shadow at work, both theirs and sometimes even yours. Recognizing this and understanding the hidden forces within us is the first step toward building healthier, more genuine relationships. It's time to shed the weight of hidden negativity and start living a life full of happiness and light. Isn't that the life you deserve? A life where no dark corners of the soul can stand in the way of your peace and joy. Keep this in mind, because the journey to happiness begins with self-awareness and the courage to face what lies beneath the surface. Projecting negative feelings, the hidden force behind our actions. Have you ever felt unfairly blamed for something, as if someone's frustrations or shortcomings were suddenly directed at you? This is the power of projection, a psychological phenomenon where negative emotions are transferred from one person to another. When someone close to you secretly harbors feelings of hatred or resentment, they may unconsciously project those emotions onto you. Imagine living with someone who, instead of owning their frustrations, casts them in your direction. You're left feeling misunderstood, blamed, or unjustly criticized. This happens when individuals repress their darker emotions and are unable to face them directly. Instead, they shift those emotions onto others, usually the people they feel safest with. As a result, you may find yourself questioning your worth, feeling drained, or doubting your actions. But let me ask you, how can you live a life filled with happiness and peace if you're constantly being burdened by someone else's unacknowledged anger or resentment? Understanding that projection is at play is the first step in freeing yourself from this toxic pattern. The more you recognize this dynamic, the more empowered you become to stand in your truth and protect your peace. You deserve to live a life full of happiness, where negativity does not control your emotional landscape. Let go of what isn't yours. Passive aggression, the silent erosion of trust. Have you ever experienced those subtle jabs, the sarcastic comments or the backhanded compliments that leave you feeling uneasy? You can't quite put your finger on it, but something feels off. This is passive aggression at work. The quiet, indirect form of hostility that can slowly erode the trust and connection in a relationship. When someone close to you secretly harbors hatred, they often don't express it openly. Instead, they'll use passive-aggressive behaviors to mask their true feelings. These can range from snide remarks to subtle slights that chip away at your confidence, leaving you questioning their true intentions. Why is this so damaging? Because passive aggression keeps you in a state of emotional uncertainty. It undermines your sense of security and happiness, creating a constant cloud of doubt and discomfort. You're left wondering, do they really care about me, or am I just a target for their unspoken frustration? Living in an environment where passive-aggressive behavior is common drains your emotional energy and steals your peace of mind. To live a truly happy life, you need clarity and trust. You deserve to feel supported, not manipulated through indirect hostility. Recognize these signs and reclaim your emotional well-being. It's time to step into a future where transparency and respect shape your relationships, and happiness is no longer just a distant dream. Avoidance of emotional intimacy, the silent barrier to connection. Have you ever noticed that someone close to you seems emotionally distant, as if there's an invisible wall between you? They may smile, they may speak politely, but when it comes to sharing real emotions or creating a deep connection, they pull back. This is the avoidance of emotional intimacy, a subtle but powerful indicator of unspoken resentment or even hatred. Emotional intimacy is the foundation of any strong, genuine relationship. It's the vulnerability, the shared trust, and the openness that allows you to truly connect with another person. When someone avoids this connection, it's often because they're harboring unresolved negative feelings. They may not be able or willing to confront their emotions, so instead they create a distance between you, leaving you feeling alone in a relationship that should bring you comfort. Now think about this for a moment. How can you experience true happiness and fulfillment in relationships where emotional walls exist? How can you find peace when you're unable to connect on a deeper level? You deserve more than surface level intimacy is absent. It's time to confront it. It's time to ask the tough questions and demand the kind of connection that nurtures your soul. The relationships you choose should fill you with joy, not leave you yearning for something more. And that begins with breaking down the walls that hold you back from true happiness. Inconsistent behavior, the emotional roller coaster. Have you ever felt like you were on an emotional roller coaster? When someone close to you is secretly harboring negative emotions, they're warm, their behavior can become erratic and unpredictable, distant, cold. One day you may feel like you're their priority, this inconsistency in behavior is often a sign that something deeper is at play. This inconsistency creates an emotional instability in your relationship that can leave you feeling confused, anxious, and drained. It chips away at your sense of security and trust, which are essential ingredients for a happy and fulfilling life. Now, ask yourself, how can you experience true happiness when your emotional well-being is constantly being thrown off balance by someone else's unpredictable behavior? You deserve more than uncertainty and emotional turmoil. You deserve clarity, stability, and a sense of peace in your relationships. If you're constantly questioning where you stand, it's time to confront this inconsistency. Reclaim your peace of mind and don't settle for relationships that leave you on edge. Your happiness and emotional health should never be compromised by someone else's unresolved issues. It's time to take control. Body language, the unspoken message of discontent. Sometimes words are not needed to communicate deep emotions. Our bodies do the talking. Have you ever felt an unsettling distance in someone's body language, even when their words were kind? You may notice crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, or tense posture. These are silent signals that something deeper is at play. Body language often betrays the hidden emotions of resentment or even hatred, speaking volumes when words fall short. When someone close to you is harboring negative feelings, their body language can reveal their true state of mind. You may sense a coldness in their demeanor, a subtle shift in their energy that leaves you feeling uneasy. These non-verbal cues create a barrier, making it difficult to connect on a genuine level. And let's be clear, this barrier doesn't just affect the relationship. It chips away at your emotional well-being, stealing your peace and happiness. So why is this so crucial for your happiness? Because, To live a life filled with joy and fulfillment, you need emotional transparency, not just a polished facade. If someone's body language makes you feel rejected or distanced, it's time to address it. Don't let hidden negativity cloud your connections. You deserve to be surrounded by people whose actions align with the love and respect you seek in your life. Undermining and sabotaging, hidden attacks on your confidence. Have you ever worked hard on something, only to find that someone close to you subtly undermines your efforts or dismisses your achievements? Maybe they brush off your successes with a careless remark or downplay your accomplishments in front of others. This is a form of hidden hostility, undermining and sabotaging, designed to weaken your confidence and sense of self-worth. When someone close to you secretly harbors resentment, they may not confront you openly. Instead, they'll use passive tactics to sabotage your progress or belittle your efforts. It can be as subtle as a comment that chips away at your self-esteem, or as overt as deliberately causing you to fail. This kind of behavior is toxic, leaving you doubting your abilities and questioning your place in the relationship. Imagine this. How can you live a life filled with happiness and success when someone close to you is actively working against your growth? You deserve to be supported, encouraged, and celebrated, not belittled or undermined. Recognizing these subtle attacks is key to protecting your happiness. When someone undermines you, it's time to reassess the relationship and reclaim your power. Your dreams and aspirations are valid. Don't let anyone's hidden resentment sabotage your journey to a joyful, fulfilled life. Deliberate disrespect, the quiet erosion of your value. Have you ever felt disrespected by someone close to you, in ways that seem small at first but begin to pile up over time? They might ignore your boundaries, belittle your opinions, or brush aside your needs as if they don't matter. This form of disrespect is deliberate, a quiet erosion of your worth, and it's often rooted in deep-seated resentment or hatred. When someone secretly harbors negative feelings toward you, they may not voice their anger outright. Instead, they undermine your value in subtle, passive ways. They disregard your feelings, ignore your contributions, or treat you with a lack of appreciation. Over time, these actions chip away at your confidence and sense of self-worth, leaving you questioning your place in the relationship. Think about this for a moment. How can you truly experience happiness if you're constantly surrounded by people who disregard your feelings and treat you as if you don't matter? You deserve more. You deserve respect, understanding, and kindness from the people closest to you. The key to living a life of joy and fulfillment is knowing your worth and setting clear boundaries with those who show you deliberate disrespect. You are worthy of love, appreciation, and respect. It's time to protect your peace and embrace the relationships that honor your value. Frequent gossiping or negative talk behind your back, the hidden betrayal. Have you ever caught wind of someone close to you speaking ill of you to others, gossiping about your personal life or spreading negative stories? This behind-your-back negativity is one of the most insidious forms of betrayal. While they may act friendly to your face, their words reveal a different, darker truth. A silent hatred or disdain that's kept hidden from you. Gossiping and negative talk often serve as a way for individuals to deflect their own frustrations and resentments. Instead of addressing their feelings directly, they manipulate others' perceptions of you, creating a narrative that paints you in a negative light. These actions are a betrayal of trust and are designed to alienate you, sowing seeds of doubt in your relationships with others. Now, ask yourself, how can you live a life full of happiness when someone close to you is secretly working to destroy your reputation or undermine your relationships with others? This toxic behavior not only hurts your trust in them, but also creates emotional turmoil and confusion in your life. You deserve relationships built on honesty, integrity, and trust. If you discover that someone close to you is gossiping or speaking negatively about you, it's time to reevaluate that relationship. You deserve a life filled with support, love, and the freedom to be your authentic self, without the shadow of betrayal hanging over you. Feeling of incongruity, the quiet disconnection that steals your peace. Have you ever felt like something just isn't right in a relationship, even though you can't quite put your finger on it? The person seems distant, the connection feels off, and you're left with a lingering sense of unease. This feeling of incongruity, a disconnect between what's being said and what's truly felt, can be a powerful indicator that someone close to you is secretly harboring negative emotions, such as resentment or even hatred. Incongruity happens when there's a mismatch between someone's outward actions and their hidden feelings. They might act as though everything is fine on the surface, but something in the air feels different. This subtle discord creates an emotional imbalance that can affect your peace of mind, making you feel disconnected, confused, or uncertain about the relationship. Think about this. How can you experience true happiness when a key relationship in your life is filled with this underlying tension? You deserve clarity, trust, and a sense of emotional safety in your relationships. When that sense of unease lingers, it slowly chips away at your sense of security and joy. Recognizing this feeling is the first step to breaking free from it. You have the power to demand authenticity and transparency in your relationships. Don't settle for anything less than the genuine connection that nurtures your soul and supports your happiness. As we've explored together the signs that someone close to you may secretly harbor negative feelings, such as hatred, are not always obvious, but can deeply impact your happiness and well-being. Whether it's through passive-aggressive behavior, inconsistency, or undermining actions, these subtle forms of negativity can slowly erode the peace and joy you deserve in your relationships. Recognizing these signs empowers you to take control of your emotional health and reclaim your happiness. You are worthy of respect, support, and genuine connection. Don't settle for relationships that drain you or make you question your worth. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who value your presence, and who nurture your soul. Your happiness is yours to protect, and it begins with setting boundaries, recognizing toxicity, and making choices that align with the life you want to live. Good luck on your journey toward greater awareness and happiness. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these important truths. May your path be filled with meaningful, authentic relationships that bring you joy, peace, and the fulfillment you deserve.